Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Fellowship of Fandoms podcast episode. I'm Strider, and here we are, back covering all the nerdy stuff. And tonight, we boldly go where we have not gone before. We will be talking about Star Trek, and specifically Star Trek Strange New Worlds, episodes 1 to 3 of season 4. It's going to be very interesting. I've been looking forward to this so much. I love Star Trek. I really love Star Trek, and I don't think I can think of a better person to discuss this with than my friend Mark here. Honestly, let's just go right to it. Mark, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm really looking forward to having this discussion because, a proper focused Star Trek discussion, even though we've had many before so far. Why don't you just quickly introduce yourself?
No, I'm likewise very excited to do this. But yeah, we've done this many times already, I think. I'm Mark Rhodes. I'm a geography professor at Michigan Tech, and I do a lot of stuff on heritage and history and industry and things. But I also have sort of a side hustle on Star Trek studies as an academic discipline. I've written two peer-reviewed articles, a guest-edited journal issue on Star Trek and geography, and I teach a course at Michigan Tech. I've taught it 3 times now. The fourth time will be this spring on imaginary worlds, geographies of science fiction and fantasy, and Star Trek always plays a significant role, sometimes more so than others, but always significant. So yeah, excited to talk through some strange new worlds. First 3 episodes of season 4 today.
Amazing. I think you you really are the best person I can think of to talk about this with. And especially given all this actual scientific background and all this, that you can probably give some extra layers to this whole thing. So why don't we just start first with some general thoughts on this show, and then we'll go through the episodes 1 to 3, and then in the end we'll just chat about some other particular things that this show does. But let's just hear your first general thoughts on this show so far. What do you think of the crew? What do you think of the setting? The fact that this is kind of the second earliest, the second earliest in the timeline. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't thrilled with the idea. I basically, since Voyager, have been sort of depressed that Star Trek refuses to explore into the future, and it just keeps
to actually boldly go
back
where we have not gone before.
Right. Instead, we just keep exploring sort of the safe narratives, and particularly with Discovery, right, going back to the original series timeline, and this was just another spin-off of Discovery, which for many reasons I was not a fan of. And so I wasn't looking forward to this really at all. But I think, unlike Discovery, which focused so heavily on just a couple characters and kind of a singular plot line for each season, they really went back to the episodic nature of Star Trek, which I'm thrilled to see. And I love that you actually have a cast of characters that I know the names of, or at least most of them, which I can't say for Picard, I can't say for Discovery. I know I could literally name 2 of the characters in Discovery. 3. Tilly. I remember Tilly, right? But that's just because we were watching Star Trek Academy, I think. I don't think I remember it otherwise. But it's nice to have a cast. I mean, it helps that it's the original series characters, half of them, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think that's the reason why I know them. I think this show is actually done its work to develop each character line, each character arc in a meaningful way, in the same way that original series sort of did, but particularly, my bread and butter, Next Generation and DS9 and Voyager.
Yeah.
It's a return to that sort of Star Trek.
Yeah, which is an interesting thing when you consider the fact that actually Discovery had way more episodes. Like Strange New Worlds just started by having 10 episodes per season. Discovery had around 20, maybe. I don't think they had like the full 25-ish, whatever that the original, like the OG TV shows had.
Yeah.
But they did have like around 20 episodes per season. And yet, as you say, like I completely agree. Oh my god! I mean, Discovery. maybe we can just come back one time and do like a random start like podcast episode about just like ranting about Discovery.
So there's plenty.
So let's not go into it,
right?
Because I think it's slippery slope, and I'm already feeling like riled up just thinking about it. But yes, my camera does this sometimes. I don't know. It will just zoom in at some point. There's like a whole thing that you do. I don't know. I guess this is my face now. Yeah, I don't. It's just Anyway, I was going to say like the best thing. It does this in dramatic moments though, and the dramatic moment was I was going to say that Discovery did do one really good thing, and that is it introduced us to Captain Pike and to this Enterprise crew. And
yes,
and with all its faults, of which I'm sure I don't even know how many it has because I've not finished the TV show because I couldn't watch it. It did kind of kickstart this whole new universe. And then it did end up actually boldly sending us into the far future, which, again, maybe we'll come back to it one time. I mean, I would certainly be up for that. I think that's a very interesting discussion to be had. But anyway, we did get Strange New Worlds, and I do agree. Well, one thing that's very interesting is for people who might not, I don't know how many people are going to see this, to be honest, because it's a small new channel. But if there's like 2-3 people, we win. Yeah, I think a very interesting thing about the show is maybe it might be my favorite fact that that's in regard to the essence of the show. The pilot episode, like the first pilot episode of Star Trek ever, was the one with Captain Pike.
Right.
That did not get picked up. And then I think later that year, like the next year or something, they went back, did another pilot with Captain Kirk that got picked up. Right. And then we got the original series. But in that first pilot that was not picked up, where Captain Pike is the main captain, we have number one, Una Chin Riley. I don't know if that was like her full name in that pilot. Either way, there's a comment.
Number one, but I don't know.
I feel like it was just number one. But either way, Pike makes a comment saying, a woman on the bridge. I'm still not sure I'm used to it, or something like this. And then they went on and made most of the main crew women on this version of Pike's Enterprise, and I think it's pretty cool. And I don't maybe care about all the characters as much, but I really do like this whole idea. And I don't know, I just like I love the setup of the show. The looks, it just looks like it's nice to be in the era of TV science, let's say, where they can make it, or TV craft or whatever, where they can make this look. We can get like Star Trek that looks as it's meant to be. You know what I mean? Sure. Like the ship looks great, like the interior, the exterior, the effects, the nebulas, the planets. There's a lot of color. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of these things.
Yeah. I'm not. I've been rewatching some original series though in the past few weeks, and I really I never, original series has always been towards the bottom of my list of, if I'm going to go back and watch Star Trek. Um, but for whatever reason, I've started putting it on. I think because I've been working on other projects, particularly like crafts and things, housework. And so it's something that is very easily just put on. But I found myself kind of watching a lot more of it than I was expecting to. And I really appreciate this sort of, Doctor Who aesthetic of the original series of, they're just making it by with their costumes and their, painted background sets with a few rocks and mosses and things. And so I'm, yeah, this, the CGI, it's nice that we've got it. Um, but, to be honest, I was rewatching the first episode of season 4 um, today,
Hmm.
and this part looks good, but I feel like once they
The rest
get
of
to
it,
Earth, well,
uh,
particularly the Earth. 65 billion years ago with the Cretaceous
yeah,
or the Jurassic period, right? I was not impressed really at all with the use of CGI. It felt really kind of clunky almost. Whereas at that point, I because I was watching it sort of intermixed with the original series, part of me was just like, just go. There's part of me. I mean, you're not going to because it's 2026, and you can't just go back to rubber masks and whatnot on a budget for a streaming TV
yeah,
show.
of course.
Um, but in my
I mean,
heart,
I
I'm
know what you
saying
mean.
I'd rather
Yeah,
just go back.
yeah, I know what you mean. Like, not that to be like, I'm not a huge fan of like overusing CGI, but I do think, you know, um, it's nice to have a more spacious area because it just feels like this is something we would make if we had all this technology. But I absolutely do not take anything away from any of the previous TV shows. They did absolutely brilliantly with what they had, and it is a part of the charm to go back and watch it as it was meant to be, and it just kind of fits together.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I absolutely love all those shows. But yeah, uh, I think we can just go straight into this episode, episode 1.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
sorry, I've already like divulged us into that space.
no, we were just having an overall discussion about the show so far,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and actually, just like a little note. So, previous season kind of ended this, I think, kind of like a multi-season arc for Pike's. I cannot remember her name. Pike's love interest. She was a really cool character.
Yeah,
She was a
yeah.
captain of her own.
Captain, yeah.
If you can dig up the name. But anyway,
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
she's kind of gone basically, and we start this as Pike is kind of recovering with this, and we see that he's going to all these missions. He's keeping himself busy, and this is just his way of coping with all this. And then we they're going somewhere. They end up in this like big nebula. They detect a probe. And I have to say, and I think this is where the fact that I basically watched and rewatched, like watched the stuff I didn't watch and rewatched stuff that I did watch before in the last like 4 years, basically all of Star Trek. And the second they were like, "Oh, there's a probe. We're not sure where it comes from," I was like, "That's their probe. They did something. I think we're gonna go into time travel." Like
Yeah,
something just
yeah,
pinged within like as soon as there was like a random probe in a nebula, and they were like, "There's no." I was like, "Wait, something's gonna," and their
yeah,
weird readings. I
yeah,
was like, "Okay,
yeah.
we're going." And like 2 minutes later, what do you know?
Yeah,
And
it's
then
the same as, oh, there's a ship in the distance, in the wormhole, or in the nebula.
yeah,
We need to rescue it. It's like it's
yeah, yeah.
them. Like
It's
it's
like,
always
yeah,
them, right?
or it's like another somehow related ship or whatever. I
Right.
mean, Star Trek's been out there for 60 years. I mean, actually, it is. This is the 60th anniversary. This year is the 60th anniversary of Star Trek,
Yep.
and it's been there for so long. If there's a type of sci-fi story, Star Trek probably did it, and probably did it more than once. So fair enough. But yeah, anyway, so they go back and they realize that they are on. We have part of the crew stuck on Earth. There's a creature there. They're like, what is this? And then it turns out that's a dinosaur. At the same time, we have the Martians who are at war with some other species from this from like this extra planet, which is
Yep.
something I really love. I always loved like planets and stuff since I was a kid. I liked all the nerdy stuff since I was a kid, from Odyssey and Greek mythology and Norse mythology to give me time travel, wormholes, spaceships,
Hmm.
and alien races. Ah, there we go. The camera decided to act normal again. All right. So I was really when they said that there was this other planet, I was like, oh my god, they did the thing with the asteroid belt. That is so cool. And and yeah, what do you know? Like they okay, I'll just quickly go to the plot and then we can just discuss it because the plot is actually pretty simple.
Great.
There's the aliens, these Martians, and Mars is this beautiful Earth-like planet at this point. They have this whole civilization. This civilization is at the war with this other race or species from this other planet that's after Mars. I've actually in real life, they scientists have speculated since like the 19th century that there was a planet there, and they called it Phaeton, which was the son of god Helios. Long story short, he takes his father's chariots that drag the sun, and he, after being specifically said that he cannot do it, and not even Zeus can handle them, only the god of the sun Helios can handle them. He goes,
Hmm.
he takes them. He first flies the sun too far away. The Earth freezes. Then he takes it too close. The Earth burns up. Like he makes rivers go away, creates deserts and so on. And then Zeus strikes him down with a lightning bolt because he was going to destroy the world. And that's why they were like, oh, well, this seems to be asteroids or something has happened. So we'll just call this mysterious planet that we think existed. We'll name it after this Greek mythology figure. So it's just a really cool thing. And then they decide in this episode to do something with it. So we have this whole war. Pike is having this discussion with them. He manages to actually kind of like find the, how do you say, like a friendly note with these aliens. Anyway, turns out they will use this one MacGuffin from Star Trek to destroy the planet of these aliens. And they had this whole, the Enterprise crew had this whole moral quandary, like, do they allow basically I don't know if I should say this word. I don't think, I mean, we're not monetized at this point because we're a very small channel, but I will not say it, like a mass extinction event on a planet. Um, and they're like, actually, it seems like we have to, because it seems like this might be like a canon event that leads to our timeline. And then they ultimately decide to basically leave it be. And then they ride the energy of this huge explosion to fling them back into their time. And that's kind of like the gist of it. So,
Right.
what did you think of all of this? Like this whole plot, okay, as I said, like you were thinking, okay, we are going back through time. It's one of those things. I'm sure you didn't expect to go actually in the time of the dinosaurs, and then to use the fact that this planet exploded into being a comet that actually ends the life on planet Earth, killing the
Right.
dinosaurs, and so on and so on. Like it does tie up in a very neat little bow.
Hmm.
But yeah, what were your thoughts of the whole thing?
Yeah. I mean, my I really enjoyed the it allowed conversation about the Federation and kind of pre-Federation Alpha Quadrant type conversation. So like I like the idea of Mars. Like you said, I really like this idea of the fifth planet, and it was populated, and it was this insectoid species. Um, I mean, a lot of this kind of almost felt sort of parallel to the plot of what season two or season three of Enterprise. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of going back in time. Not so much for the dinosaurs, and we can talk about that because there's so many missed opportunities there. Um, uh, but
Yep.
to speak on, like you said, the fifth planet, particularly like Martian kind of early Federation or pre-Federation politics in the Alpha Quadrant, and it allowed the the writers to be able to kind of reiterate the values of the Federation, which I always, I know that's what some people hate is, speeches about the morals of the Federation. But I think when there's opportunities, and like this was a great opportunity for, encountering strange new worlds, to really emphasize how unique this kind of the political organization of the Federation is, and sort of their policy on how to interact with others. Um, I I think that this was also an interesting parallel to Enterprise. So Star Trek Enterprise and their season three with the Xindi attack on Earth. Um, I don't. Did you watch? Have you watched Enterprise?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Whenever I now hear of an insectoid species in Star Trek, I think of the Zindi. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, you had an insectoid species committing this, space observable attack on the planet that looks like Earth.
Yeah.
So it seemed very similar, and I think you could draw those parallels between. I don't know if the writers were making this commentary, but you can. Well, I'm actually sure that they probably were, but I don't know if they were intending to make the same commentary of kind of Earth, of making that parallel between, how Earth is portrayed in season three of Star Trek Enterprise, which is very kind of post 9/11, kind
Yeah,
of,
that was a big thing at the
yeah,
time.
war on terror, xenophobia running rampant, all of that happening. And so I feel like there is a parallel to that. I don't know how much, or if at all, there was an intentional parallel there, but I was thinking about that. Like you said, particularly as soon as they said insectoid, I was like, oh, well, there were insectoids in Enterprise. But yeah, I mean, the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I was going
I
to ask, like, what do you think they could have done there more with them?
Well, I mean, they had the opportunity. One of my favorite episodes in Star Trek is what's it called? Distant Origin in Voyager, um, which is basically focused on the Voth, who are a reptilian species.
Right.
Um, and the whole plot of the episode is the Doctor, this Voth doctor, is having this distant origin theory, where he's trying to prove that they came from a different planet, and of course that planet was Earth. And the plot is that the dinosaurs, the hadrosaurs, survived the um, uh, asteroid and developed warp technology and left, and then went to the Delta Quadrant. And so I thought that this was as soon as I heard there was going to be dinosaurs in the series, I was like, oh, we're gonna go back to the Voth. We're gonna make that connection. Yeah, there we go. um, and there was, they've kind of blew up that potential,
I
literally
did not
blew
think of
up
that.
that potential plot line.
Literally blew up
Um,
the. Oh my, yeah.
I guess not, right? I mean,
I think there's a way around it,
yeah, they
but
didn't they didn't stand for life.
that would have
I
been
mean,
such a cool move to actually pull off something like that. I did not think of that. That's
and it
such a great
and
idea, actually.
and it wouldn't have to be part of the plot. It would just have to be an Easter egg, just
Yeah,
like they
yeah.
put in they
Just
put in
put
the
like a
Doctor
weird
Who
little
Easter
thing,
egg.
something somewhere going on. Yeah, yeah,
Yep, yep.
yeah.
Did you catch the Doctor Who Easter egg? I didn't until I rewatched it today. I didn't 2
Wait,
weeks
I
ago.
did. Oh yeah, this thing again. Damn it. This camera. Ah, there we go. All right.
Oh yeah, zoom in.
Yeah. What's her name? I actually keep forgetting her name, but she said she was
Hell
once
yeah.
in a blues phone box flying around.
Yeah, it was the last time she'd seen a phenomenon like this was I think
Yeah.
it was something like I think I was in a phone box flying around.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it
I
was
did. I
only at
did catch it
that
the first
point
time.
and it was only at that point that I realized the TARDIS was it last season, an episode in last season? I didn't even know that. I that comment made me think, well, is that actually a reference to Doctor Who? And then I Googled it and realized, oh, and then you can, the TARDIS is literally next to the Enterprise in one of last season's episodes. Um, and yeah, apparently that they've been trying to do this crossover episode, which sadly will never happen now. But
I tried googling it, but yeah, I do
yeah,
remember that this was talked about, but I cannot. Let me see if I can just quickly try to find it.
yeah,
Yeah, but I mean it's
the
really small. I don't want
Salak who ate
to
its tail.
zoom in. It's fine. But yeah, it's like when they were trapped in this big thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Still, uh, what would you just overall say? Like this whole episode, like does it? I think so. For me, I feel like it does at least do the minimum of like the at least the bare minimum of making it like okay, this was all like it manages to do at least the minimal satisfactory level of tying up the whole plot. I do
Yeah.
think that if you want to break down the logic of this, I think you can do it. Like I
I
think
mean,
if someone sets down to break down like why this doesn't work, I'm sure there's a lot of things you like, a lot of holes to poke into the
sure.
plot. But overall, I think it was a solid beginning, and yeah, it was just nice to be back with these people, with this crew. I think it's a solid start to a season.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't as. I guess I wouldn't say I was as impressed. Um, I just thought, really almost the visuals were what kind of it just. I couldn't get over how sort of fake those Jurassic shots
Very
looked.
true.
Um,
I guess it was the
and
Cretaceous period, no? I think
was it
that's the.
Cretaceous? Isn't the whole
I
point?
think
I thought again. I'm learning my eras from Star Trek, but didn't at the end didn't they say that the asteroid? Oh, it was a Cenozoic, right? It was a Cretaceous, and the asteroid ushered in the Cenozoic, at least according to Pike or whoever was delivering that last line.
yeah, but
Right.
I think what's going on is the whole Jurassic Park. It just like took over as like this pop culture phenomenon of this is how we refer to the era with T-Rex, even though it's
Yeah,
not. So
yeah.
it's like
Right,
every.
right,
I think literally everyone who has ever heard of Jurassic Park and has seen the movie, this is the first term they go to when thinking about these things,
right, right. But I
whether
don't
it's
know.
appropriate or
I
not,
didn't
depending on the.
the like all of the interactions with the dinosaurs were awkward. I mean,
Yeah.
literally punching one. Come on, like
Yes.
that
Oh
was
my god.
that
Yeah.
was that was weird. That was weird. I didn't like it.
Those things
Um,
didn't land. Like I really liked like
no, they didn't.
the
Yeah,
macro plot, but like the micro plot, which is like this one specifically on the planet, it really was like you'll just feel like it's kind of like all of you are just standing in front of the green screen and just kind of
yeah.
like
It
talking
really
around like
felt
it
like that. It really felt like that.
mm,
And at the end, like I knew it felt like that because he got to the end and it's like, oh, tell me about the dinosaurs, and like there was like zero emotional connection for me. Like, oh, I want to hear them talk about the stories about the dinosaurs. Like, no, they're going to talk about like how they recorded a television show in a studio.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm overly harsh. I just
No,
didn't.
no.
I
I mean,
wasn't a
I think it's
huge
fair,
fan.
but still a solid start to a season.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't hate it. I rewatched it.
yeah, I mean, if you were able to, yeah, to rewatch it and still find it like at least moderately amusing, like I guess that was enough in it to make
Yeah.
it worth it. Um,
For so
yeah,
right now the screen we're looking at Pike's offer for promotion to Commodore, um, or Commander.
Commodore, and then Una
Commodore,
generally
right?
gets promoted to commander.
To Commander, right? What was Una before?
You know, that was
Lieutenant?
my thought as well. I was like, wouldn't she have been this, given that she's the first officer on? I don't
Right.
know.
Maybe she was
I think this is one of those things
first
where Star
lieutenant.
Trek kind of does the thing of we are not completely sure how ranks work because it's also maybe not supposed to be fully a military. So it's like we're just gonna kind
Sure,
of wing it
sure, sure,
here.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, I was just wondering if you had that off the top of your head. Maybe she was like a first lieutenant, and then got
Yes, something like that.
commander.
There's an additional level of I'm not completely familiar with because they obviously would use, I guess, the U.S. way of things,
Right.
and I'm not completely familiar with it anyway. So it's just
I
like I'm just kind of like
literally only
headcanoning these things
know
in my head.
I literally only know the U.S. system at all because of Star Trek.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair. Same. But anyway,
yeah,
let's go to episode 2
yeah.
because for me, episode 2 might be actually my favorite
Okay.
so far. Um, Basically, the plot of the episode: how do we Spock, Lan, and Kirk were somewhere. They were coming back from a trip, and they discovered the long lost USS Griffin drifting in space. They board the abandoned ship, and very soon the disturbing hallucinations start happening. Spock sees the visions of his now former fiancée T'Pring. Kirk is hearing his infant son crying. Lan is the one that's in the beginning seems to be kind of holding herself the best. She's following this trail of it seems like that the chief of security um, Rose Harper seems
Hmm.
to have murdered the crew or has done something. Um, then we have more hallucinations. There's like it seems like that the Enterprise rescue crew has showed up, but it turns out that's another hallucination. Lan actually becomes kind of possessed, stabs Kirk. The real Enterprise does show up and does rescue the away team. Kirk contacts his family. It's all fine. He was worried he lost his brother for a second there. It turns out his brother is on a leave,
Yep.
and the episode ends with because they're still actually flying next to the Griffin, and
It's being towed away.
yes, but as Lan is looking out towards the ship, the camera keeps zooming in, and it does that thing that that always gets me. Like this is a thing that always works on me in the horror movies, where it zooms in and you see that this thing, whatever it is, I'm getting goosebumps. It's still there,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
see Rose Harper's like her zombie ghoulish version still looking through the window, looking towards us, and yeah, that was kind of that was kind of it. That was kind of the plot. So, what were your thoughts on this whole like thing? Yeah, like general vibes of the episode, and then we can kind of like maybe talk about some particularities.
Yeah, I mean, I do not like horror, really, almost ever. And so like this is just not my thing. Um, but I can recognize that it's really creative. I'm glad they did it. I think it certainly worked because if it wasn't kind of creepy, I wouldn't not like it. Um, and I think it still was able to explore some like great sort of plot questions around Spock and his humanness and his relationship with T'Pring and Kirk and his relationship with his son and partner, who, that's all, which movie is that? Wrath of Khan. Yeah.
Wrath of Khan.
Um, uh, so, I mean, that sort of canon building as well. Um, Yeah, I think it was creepy, and I'm glad. I mean, I like just like the musical episode, just like I'm waiting for this Muppets episode. Like I like this experimentation with other genres, kind of crossover genres. I think it helps the yeah. I really like the experimentation.
Yeah, I'll say like, well, firstly, yes, I do agree. I did think it's cool to experiment a bit. One of my favorite things they did was the crossover with Strange New Worlds last year, which was, I think, that was an amazing
With Lower
episode.
Decks.
Yes, sorry, Strange New Worlds
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Lower
yeah,
Decks.
yeah,
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
I thought that was a great episode. I think it really really worked. I
Yep,
love Strange New
yep.
World. Well, I love Strange New Worlds. I love Lower Decks. We can do maybe also an episode about that. It's just a really fun show, and then to have this experiment, because also like why not? Star Trek does this all the time. You go back, you meet people from the past. The fact that we have, I don't know how far apart would they be? Like maybe even 200 years, like from this Enterprise to Lower Decks. It's certainly more than 100. It
Yeah,
might
yeah, yeah.
be close to 200 even, because it's a
Yeah,
bit
about
advanced
200.
relative
2100s to 2300s.
to
Yeah.
TNG.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But actually, these TV shows are obviously being made at a roughly similar time. Like there was a big overlap in years, so that means that you can have the prime versions of both casts interact with each other, and that was really cool. But yeah, I'm also not a huge fan of horror itself, but I really like it when I really appreciate, and I don't mind when something I really like. So it's usually not horror. When things that I like that don't tend to like be the basically like the not the prime thing about them isn't horror. When they delve into horror a little bit, I'm really happy. I'm fine with that, especially if it's done well. As long as you don't reach out for jump scares and things like this, because those are the cheap tricks to make something scary. Because yeah, like if I jump scare you in the house, you're gonna get really scared, and it's just not fun. But if you can be a bit more subtle about it, a bit more like creative about it, like just seeing, and this happens several times through the episode, and this is the thing that I respect, and this really works for me in horror stories. When you see just someone wandering around in the background, that's it. Like for me, that already like gives this whole feeling of yeah, okay, they're not alone, even though they're alone, they're not alone, and
Yep.
it just gives
Yep.
this whole vibe and brings the story out and creates the proper atmosphere. And I just really do like that. So for me, this is actually legit one of my favorite episodes, I think, of this show. I really did enjoy it quite a bit, and I think where is it? Let me just try to find it. So this scene, I like the creativity behind it, because actually it turns out it was Lan holding the knife, and she is the one attacking, I think, in this scene.
Sure.
There was a couple of, I think, clever little twists there, and then, as you said, I think earlier, it gave us the chance to kind of explore some, well, actually, these three characters specifically.
Yeah.
So we have Spock, as you said, like his relationship with him being human. We have Kirk, who is kind of dealing with being a father. And we have Lan, who is a descendant of Khan Noonien-Singh,
Right.
and her fear that she might be a monster deeply within herself. And this is kind of like her exploration of her character in this episode. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought that really worked. Yeah, and I like what they did with the set. Um, I feel like it was just like a very capably done I don't think they did anything anything remotely like they didn't pioneer anything. There's
Right.
no new horror techniques. There are no new things that somehow this episode has pushed the TV world into. But I think that everything done in this episode was really creatively capably done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
scenes where they leave the room, Spock is left in the med bay, medic,
Yep.
how's it called, med bay, and suddenly it was like empty, and then suddenly it's full of bodies,
Yep.
and then suddenly, as he's over there, there's a body, like there's blood showing up underneath the cover, like, and we see it, and he doesn't see it, and we know it, and there was just a lot of these small things that are like a very cool way to build a horror atmosphere without jump scares, without, I don't know, body horror. Like, I mean, I guess that was a tiny bit of body horror, but like, you know what I mean,
I
like
mean, yeah,
nothing
somebody's cutting his ears off.
specifically
So.
disgusting or something. Like, I think that was
Yeah.
really kind of, for me, they really hit the balance of this.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
It was nice to
yeah,
see. I mean, I mean, that was. I would say that is innovative in. I mean, they've done it. I can't think of an episode off the top of my head right now, but I'm sure it's happened before. Um, what is an emotionless reaction to horror, right? I mean, that's one kind of creative exploration we got with putting Spock in that room. It's like, oh yes, we got the typical kind of horror tropes with the body raising behind him and all of that fun stuff. But then I think it was more interesting to see, okay, what does a Vulcan do in the situation? Like, bodies weren't there and then they were there. Bodies were dead and now they're not dead, and somebody's now trying to cut off your ears, and I think that was one of the most fun parts of this episode for me as someone who's not a fan of horror is well, what is the so-called emotionless response in this situation. um, I just thought it was creative to have Spock included in this episode because of that. One
yeah.
thing
So I was
yeah,
just trying
yeah,
to find this shot. There we go. It's
shoot,
just, sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's I'll just zoom out because it's just too scary.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean,
I think that was a great way. I really like this point about Spock. I think him, yeah, getting this explanation how he would react in a horror episode. I think that
right.
was, yeah, I
I
completely agree with this. That
I
was a
would have
great,
one thing
yeah,
I was thinking about is I would appreciate it if I feel like they I feel like they all sort I feel like it was Kirk honestly who sort of kept things together. I mean, you don't know the timeline of how long Kirk was gone versus how long Spock took before he started hallucinating, but it seemed like basically as soon as they left. Well, I guess Kirk started hearing things as soon as they arrived too. But my point being, I feel like Spock should have been able to last longer against whatever this was. I mean, part of the thing is we don't know what it was, but
yeah.
I mean,
That's something actually I want to get
they
to
they
in a
they've
second.
they've built up the Vulcan mind as this superior thing in so many ways, and the the kind of the psychic power really of Vulcans as well. That you'd think that he would have been able to like keep it together longer and then slowly kind of fall apart.
Yeah, um, yeah. I mean, I know what you mean. I guess they maybe tried to. I guess they maybe try to like give him a bit of a more of a challenge. And also, I think in this show, like one of the big things, and I guess this is also the first time we are actually getting to live with Spock and to have him like develop in front of our eyes actually, because like original series
Yeah.
obviously did some world building, some character development, but given it was an extremely specifically serialized TV show, there wasn't a lot of that going on. Most of the
Right.
character work is done through the movies. So the fact that we have Spock here, he does, the main thing about Spock is him dealing with his dual nature, and I
Right.
guess the show has been really leaning into it. So I guess they thought that maybe at the point of his journey where he's at, maybe he was being still specifically vulnerable for this particular topic, and then whatever this thing is,
Right.
and actually I do want to get right into that when I finish this. I do think that whatever this thing was, it targets your deepest fear or deepest insecurity or something, and then just kind of presses into it, which means that that's where you're weakest.
Right.
So I guess, yeah, but I do think that they maybe could have given him a bit more. And to his credit, though, he didn't really like panic insanely. He did
No. No.
constantly try to like logic his way out of this. Like, this is not happening. You're not here.
Right.
You should not, like, the bring. You should not be. You are not here. I'm just going to
Yeah. Yeah.
ignore you
Yeah.
while you're
Yeah.
there. I'm going to try to do this problem. So, like, I guess they do manage to. But
Yeah.
I do want to say, I do want to ask, what do you think this thing was? Because it is not cleared up,
Right.
and they do
No.
say this is maybe a good point to bring this up. We do get introduced to Division 12,
Yep. Yep.
which is
Which
apparently
is a
this
full new
division
thing.
that discovers that's meant to investigate all the unexplainable things.
Right.
So, yeah,
Right.
what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah. I really this is another reason why I like this episode. I had to, that was one of the first things I went on, Memory Alpha and is Division 12, this is a new thing, which, I mean, Section 13, oy, gives me,
Yeah.
yeah, PTSD for that. But I mean, I honestly, I wouldn't, they set things up particularly because that last scene that you showed with she's still hallucinating this thing and whether or not like that was the entity and just like
Or is she?
change or yeah or is she exactly yeah um uh and so it is set up the show that they could return to this, in the final episode. They typically, the final episode will typically be some sort of return to something.
True.
And so this could be, Division 12 for episodes 9 and 10 of season 4. But also, I would be perfectly happy if they, just left it, and let, whatever Star Trek we might get in 10 to 15 years, they could pick it up if they want. But I think the whole point of this episode isn't. I think we could have a conversation on what this is, but I think the entire point is this is a conversation about science, and that all science is fiction until it's science, right? And
Right.
this is a great example of like that, where horror and science fiction, or just fiction and science, blur. And so I really like that they didn't try to explain it. Like, they didn't try to explain it away. They didn't investigate it. They like really wrote it off like, oh, this is above our pay grade. This is a Division 12 thing. And so I really appreciate it, because it's a commentary on, that we don't have all the answers, and even the answers we do have, we didn't used to have them, and that's just the way. That's how the world is, and I really kind of the science fiction of Star Trek sometimes, the techno babble, right? I don't know if that word was invented for Star Trek, but it
I
certainly gets
think it might
used
have
a
been.
lot.
I legit think it might have been.
Right, so it was nice to see an episode where they didn't try to techno babble their way out of something,
100%.
and really kind of leaned into the unknown, and I really appreciated it. Yeah. What do you think, or what did you think about this
Yeah.
entity?
Well, as an all-around nerd person with maybe specialization into more fantasy side of things, though again, I absolutely love Star Trek, so I guess there's that as well. But I feel like this leans more to the fantasy kind of side of things a little bit. I did think that something might have. Did you watch the movie Event Horizon? It's a movie with
So.
Sam Neill.
Oh,
They,
yeah.
yeah.
And they all kind of go
That's
crazy at the end, right?
yeah. This is the perfect timing for this camera. Yes, they all go absolutely crazy because that ship broke the warp barrier and warped themselves right into hell. And
Right,
then when they
right.
come to rescue the ship, well, they go crazy because the ship is actually a gateway to hell, and then it all goes very, very bad. And Sam Neill, the man himself, may he rest in peace, because he has recently passed away, and is actually one of my favorite actors, or I mean, still is one of my favorite actors.
Oh, yeah.
Does an
Same.
absolute masterpiece in of someone slowly being broken down by an evil ship that's possessed by demons. So
Yeah.
or by like that's literally possessed by hell. So I did consider something like this, that there might have been something otherworldly, if you can say this, in a TV show called Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, where it warped this particular person into something else, something that has literally cursed this ship, something on a different plane of existence, or something like this. And yeah, I kind of thought that this would have been my theory, I guess. But I do hope. Well, I don't know. I kind of hope they leave it alone, but also kind of hope we get some really cool explanation for it at the same time. So yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder if we might actually go back to this. It could be interesting, but I feel like the way they set it up, I feel like it would be more rewarding to let us wonder. Like, just leave
I
it
think
be
so.
and
I
let
think
us
so.
wonder.
But I won't complain if they go back to it. Well,
Yeah,
I might,
like,
but
as long as, especially if they manage to pull it off, like to actually make it, like, If they go back to it, then it's just something like if it just doesn't live up to the setup, then it will, in retrospect, make this episode also probably worse. So
Right.
if
It
I
was
had
just
to make a
Q
choice,
playing a funny joke on everyone.
yeah, I would hope that they. Man, this camera is like, I swear, I'm just trying to to talk and wave around freely. If yeah, I think if they go back, if I had to, if I could choose, I would tell them not to go back, just leave it be. But
Yeah. Yeah.
speaking of, I guess leaving things be, we can go to episode 3. Oh yeah, actually,
Yep.
I did want to tell you something. Um, the episode, I forgot to say this. The episode of the first episode, the name was Valles Marineris.
Right.
Uh, are you familiar with this word? Because I wasn't, and then I googled what it was.
I googled it. I googled it when I watched today because when the Martian pointed out the crater and they
Yeah,
said Valles, which is Latin, I
yeah,
know a lot of the. I play Terraforming Mars, the board game, and I know a lot of the geographical features on Mars are Latin based, and so I thought that sounds like it's probably actually the name of a real crater. So I googled it and I was like, oh yeah, that's really the name.
yeah. Valles Marineris. It is the largest canyon system on Mars.
Okay,
Uh,
right.
so yeah, yeah. I mean, that was a great hint. I was like, I didn't think it was specifically something that was on Mars. I just thought it might be just like a Latin term for something of about space or something from that era or whatever. And then it's like Valles sounds like a valley. So I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, I didn't think about it until the second time I watched the episode, and not until they actually pointed to it on the map did I think, oh, that might be the real place.
yeah, yeah. I mean, fair enough. But anyway, episode 3. Uh,
Yeah.
Human best friend. So basically, after 6 months of non-stop missions, the Enterprise crew needs to take a shore leave, and they go to a planet that has an intoxicating atmosphere. At the same time, they're supposed to hold peace negotiations with two, I guess, two like countries, I assume, on like one planet. I think they're like the same species, and suddenly the peace negotiations are suddenly moved forward while the crew is under the intoxicating atmosphere of the planet's influence. There's a missing shuttle. There's an act of sabotage. Scotty and Ortegas are the two main characters of this episode. It starts. The setup is that they have been kind of like making each other pretty angry in recent weeks. Ortegas likes to punch it, and Scotty is not happy with that because that puts a big strain on Enterprise, and yeah, there's a whole thing going on there. And they're kind of meant to basically have like a hangover episode of Star Trek where they're trying to figure
Right.
out what happened.
Yep.
And the rest of the main characters, or as they're called in the show, the Alpha crew, are kind of like also all over the place. Pike is getting his face tattooed. Una is absolutely nailing singing in Klingon. Uhura is
Yep.
throwing a massive party. Nurse Chapel, sorry, becomes obsessed with, I guess, some kind of space bingo or something. Lan starts. She starts a warrior cult thing, and then also becomes the leader of another warrior group or something. And Spock sees everyone as plants. Anyway, Scotty and Ortegas, they kind of go through the whole episode. They kind of have this whole rivalry thing going on at the same time, kind of trying to like solve their personal issues with each other. Spock is also seeing Kirk this whole time. And
Right.
anyway, Scotty and Ortega's managed to kind of save everybody in time to kind of help with the negotiations in some strange way. So anyway, just before we were recording this, you said actually this is your favorite episode of the season so far. For me,
Yeah.
I'll do my a bit of negativity, even though it stars Strange New Worlds. I like it. I'm happy I spent the time watching this episode, but I think Star Trek is notorious for bad holiday space vacation episodes. I think it's just it's like a whole thing at this
Right.
point. Like every what's it called,
Mm-hmm.
Risa? Every Risa episode, whenever they go
Yep.
to have a
Yep.
holiday there, it's always terrible. I think the best shore leave episode. Well, actually, that is not true. There is one really great one, which is I think it's called Family. It's the episode just after Best of Both Worlds. So it's kind of like a shore leave episode when Picard goes and spends time with his brother on their vineyard or whatever.
Right.
Like
Yep. Yep.
that's actually that's a fantastic episode. That is an absolutely fantastic episode, especially because of what it does with Picard is it examines his insanely traumatic experience of being turned into a Borg and being completely taken over his individuality, and it's just like a whole insane thing.
Yep.
So I guess that's one that is one definitely very good shore leave episode, even though it's not a very happy one. But otherwise, whenever they try to do something, it just kind of like doesn't work. And for me, this one was, I mean, humor is a very specific thing, and we could love 9 out of 10 humoristic things equally. Like, for example, the two of us, and then that
Right.
10th thing was just not going to land for one of us. It's just how these things work. And like, I didn't hate this episode, but also like I don't know, I didn't. I like that they're trying to make every episode kind of its own thing. Like,
Yep.
they're trying to do like this episodic stuff, and for the most part, they do
Yep.
a good job. But I I feel like this episode, if we were having a 20 episode season, throw it in, I'm gonna be happy it's there. The fact that I have 15 or 16 episodes left, well, at this point it's even less. It's like 13 episodes something because we just watched 3. But let's say like season 4, season 5, I think it's like 16
Oh,
episodes
there's only
total.
10 there's only 10.
Yeah, but like in the 5th
There's
episode, in the 5th season, it's like a limited one, so it's going to be like I think 6 episodes or something in season 5.
right, right, yeah, yeah, include
So
yeah,
so in
right.
that sense, like we are really close to the end. I'm obviously it's a character episode. We learn more about Scotty, we learn more about Ortega's. I respect all of this. I
Right.
just feel like it's one of those things where, if there was more episodes, I'll be fine. But like I wanted a stranger new world.
Hmm.
So it's just kind of like, like it's not bad, but it's just not anything much for me. But I am glad to hear that you did like it, which is also really cool because that's that does go to show that even if one doesn't like 1 or 2 episodes per season, you
Right.
can still get like 7 or 8 episodes you do like, which
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah,
which is
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
hoping for. That's a great success rate. So let's go. Please tell me why this was actually a pretty good episode for you.
I mean, the humor did land for me for quite a bit. I mean, I was laughing several times through the episode. That could make and break an episode for somebody, absolutely. But there are several things um, that I really like. I mean, the like you said, this does kind of it felt more like classic, you know, Star Trek to me, with the because of the shore leave Risa, complications from being on a holiday or shore leave planet. Um, but I think so. There are several things. I really appreciated the kind of, because we've gotten lots of Ortega's kind of angst and quips and things, but I feel like, and we even like met, her brother was in a couple episodes, but I really feel like we haven't had a proper Ortega's episode, or at least I'm not remembering it. If we have had one. Um, but I really appreciated having Ortegas, who is not in the original series, and so one of the, you know, between Lon and her, uh, and number one, um,
Yeah.
I appreciated having the attention on her, but also Scotty is one of my favorite characters in Star Trek. So I really, and
Yeah.
he
Same.
did, he was not a prominent character really in the original series, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody was besides Bones, Kirk, and Spock.
And McCoy,
And
the
like
big
we
three.
think Bones, yeah. Um, uh, yeah, and like we think of Sulu and Scotty and Uhura as being the other three, basically. And if you just like think about, oh, that was the crew and they were important, and like we know Scotty just because, beam me up, right? But we never really got a big character development from
It's in the
Scotty.
movies where we
Um,
get for all of them actually something to do, but yeah,
a
not in
little
the
bit
TV show
more,
actually.
but it's still a movie. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
So
even then,
yeah,
of
I
course,
just
but like just by the nature
right,
of
yeah,
how
yeah,
movies work, they do get
right.
like proper stuff to do. So
Yeah. So I really appreciated that it was Ortegas and Scotty. They've done a really good job of building up this relationship, um, especially this season. But I think it goes into last season too, maybe. Um, yeah. I think they were jabbing at each other last season as well. And so I think they set it up really well. I think it was funny. I liked the Ortegas and Scotty focus. I liked I yeah, I they put everybody into awkward positions, which is I always that's again it's funny. The Klingon power ballads, the captain, just getting his tattoos, the doctor slinging drinks, and then particularly Spock. Like that was the other um, real this the Spock Kirk relationship
yeah,
here. I think there's a few things going on. I think this is a continued sort of nod to all of those people that want Spock and Kirk to have a relationship. I think you got some of those vibes from this, and I think the
oh,
writers are.
I did not think about that. But
I, I,
yeah, I
I
guess
think
you could.
I,
Yeah,
I think I think the writers are nodding at the fan fiction here, which is cool. I mean,
there's always
go
some fan
for it.
fiction for
Right.
everything ever.
But I mean, Kirk and Spock is like that's like the original.
Yeah, yeah,
What's the term of that?
a
Um,
ship.
yeah, ship. Yeah, shipping.
Ironically,
Um,
because they're on a spaceship and he's the captain of a ship and he's
exactly,
the first officer
exactly.
of a ship.
Um, um, but beyond that, uh, like you said, we've only got 15 episodes or so left, and we need to end on a pathway towards the end of Wrath of Khan, right? Where I have they're almost close to the right. I have and always will be your friend, right? Um, like we need them to be best friends or close to best friends by the end of Strange New Worlds, and so I think this was a good. Um, I think this was a great kind of hint at how that relationship developed. And again, it was funny. Spock mind melding with a plant, Spock seeing
Yeah,
plants,
my mind to your leaves.
my mind at your leaves, and I was. That's where believability of like, can you read the? I still don't understand like were the was that actually a computer? I don't understand exactly how
No
that
idea.
worked because he I,
Either.
I I assumed he like didn't actually know where the ship was, but he did. So it worked somehow. And I was looking up Spock mind melds, and he's mind melded with the Horta in the original series, and he mind melded with the whales in the Undiscovered Country.
Yeah, he mind meddle with a lot
Yeah,
of things and
yeah. So
creatures
I
and
guess
people.
plant, it's on the trajectory, right?
Yeah,
Um,
it might as well.
yeah. See, might as well. So that's why I like this episode. Like, might as well try out all of these weird relationships and situations, and and it's one of these things where like, yeah, the plot, like, who knows what was happening, who are these species, what were they doing, what was the problem, like,
Yeah,
it's
not the
Ryzen,
point
like
of the episode.
yeah, that's where the episode is. It's on the planet, whatever the name of this planet is. um yeah, that's why I just thought it was fun, and Star Trek's supposed to be fun, and particularly after the last episode, I think it
Yeah,
was it was a
yeah.
return to fun.
It was. Yeah, I'll say. I do think they chose to fit those. Like they, and it makes sense that they only have 10 episodes. They will be very deliberate in the way they order the episodes, like the order of the episodes.
Right. Sure,
And
sure.
I was going to say this whole part about Kirk, I really did love. That was absolutely amazing, and especially the. Just give me a second to find it. There's a wait. I just had it open. There we go. There's this. Yeah, scene at the very end when it does
Right.
turn out that it was Kirk all along,
Yeah.
and I did love everything about this. I do really like Ethan Peck as a younger version of Spock.
Hmm.
I think he's really good in this role, um, and uh, Paul Weasley. I feel like he does it. So I think overall I do like him as Kirk. I do think that sometimes he makes his thinking face. It's too much of a thing. Like he really goes into the like there's a thing that he does with his eyebrows and like this part here like between the eyebrows that like he really gets into the thinking of of it all where I feel
Right.
like just tone it down a little bit and then that would be good, but otherwise I think yeah he's good, and I think the most important thing is the chemistry I think between the two actors is actually really good, which is obviously the key,
Yep.
the
Yep.
key thing you need for something like this. um
Yeah. It makes me
for
sad that we're not going to get that spin-off that we were supposed to get
It
of.
seems so, which is yes. I was going to bring that up too. I think that's such a crazy, sad thing to think about. So I don't know. I'm just hoping that something there's a weird twist of fate, and we do end up getting it because I think it would be really a missed chance to not to continue with this. We
Yeah,
started
with
like
these two actors playing these two characters.
yeah, we
Yeah.
started like at this point like around 10 years ago with Discovery. That was mid at best. Let's say it was mid, and then it kind of
That's
out of.
generous.
I think I am being generous, but I don't want to be. I don't want to be like a hater or something. It was very mid at best, but then it did like out of it spun out a couple of really cool things. We got Starfield Academy as well, which again not great, but some interesting things. And the most important thing, it did push the timeline way further, which was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think
And
the only reason we have
yeah,
Academy is because Strange
yeah,
New Worlds did so well, right? I mean,
yeah. But we
it's
got
not.
this through
I don't
Discovery,
think
and then it's a
Discovery gave.
whole.
I don't. Right. I don't think Discovery gave. I mean, Discovery did give us this,
Yeah, but
but
that's what I mean. Like it is the thing that
yeah.
is kind of like the thing that pushed the like paved the way for Stranger Rules, which then gave us
Yeah.
this. And the Starfleet Academy does come directly from Discovery, basically, not from Stranger Worlds, more so
Right.
than.
Right.
So in that
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah. Yeah.
but anyway, the point is, like, we do have this whole thing going on, and it would really be a shame. Like, we've been, I mean, I don't know when season 2 of Discovery came out. Like, it's been like 7 or 8 years at this point for sure. And the fact that
Mhm.
we've had these characters so long, and like the people love them, like the fandom does, I think generally at least love this Pike, this Spock, and so on. Um,
Yep.
so it really is a shame. Why are we not building on this? So let's
Right.
see. But I did want to ask you one specific thing, and then maybe we can go back to talking nice things about these two, because this is a. I don't think it's a negative question, but it's certainly a question that deserves to be asked because it's a very specific one. So Star Trek does have this thing where they tend to go back to certain characters or like families, and it's
Right.
like, do we really in a whole galaxy and like humankind and all these Federation of species have like trillions of people around? Really, there's a descendant of Noonien-Singh on the Enterprise and had a relationship or something with Kirk? Was this really a
Right.
thing that we need to do? It's like, I'm not sure, and like nothing against the actress and nothing against the character itself or herself. But just the fact that this person is related to Noonien-Singh, is this? I'm not sure if this is worse or the fact that Spock got another mystery surprise sibling in Michael Burnham in Discovery, and it's like, do we really need to? It's like Ray Skywalker being, I mean Ray Skywalker,
Right.
Ray being a Palpatine. It's like, really, really, why are we
Yeah.
doing this? So
Yeah. I honestly I forget about it. Like I forgot about it until you had mentioned it earlier tonight. I mean, it is very hard to believe. I don't know what it really does for the plot line. I mean, yeah, that's why I mean I like Ortegas so much more and Mbenga, right? Two unrelated cast members that were on the ship. Like, yeah, they don't need to be. Who knows who's uncle and aunt or niece or nephew or whatever. Yeah,
yeah,
I
just
don't.
there's their own character doing their own thing.
Yeah, they can be their own. Yeah, you don't have to have them. Yeah, I think that's a good point. They don't have to be related. Um, but I mean, it's Khan and every it should have been an episode. Like, and it shouldn't have been her, right? It should have been every series does a Khan something. Um,
Yeah,
almost everyone. Um, I don't know. I agree. It doesn't make sense. And so like yeah, so like episode 2 when they're kind of exploring their emotions or their fears, and like Spock's makes sense, Kirk's makes sense. Hers, like, it didn't, like, I had almost no emotional reaction to hers because the plot doesn't like the whole thing doesn't make sense that she would be a con. And like honestly, I kept forgetting. Like, why is she? Oh yeah, she's angry because she's Khan or related to Khan, and that's why she's stabbing. Okay, that's why. Like, I kept forgetting.
yeah. And
um,
I mean, she had also like a bit of a tragic background as far as I remember. Grew up on on a bad world and so on. Like
yeah, Gorn.
there's other
Yeah,
stuff
that's
happening, but
cool.
it's just
Do
one of those things
that.
where
Focus
just
on that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, we did get some cool episodes with her. To be fair, like we definitely got
Right.
cool stuff with her, and when given good stuff, I think the actress that did a pretty solid job overall. And yeah, I mean, I think there's time to discuss the characters maybe in some other time, like more in depth.
Yeah.
Like it's just one of those things where, because we're talking about legacy characters here, right? Like these two guys, like and one of the most iconic story perhaps that they're part of is Wrath of Khan,
Yep.
which is a not that it is that it should, I guess, count as a spoiler, but on the off chance some people have not seen the movies, I will not say what happens in Wrath of Khan, but there's important stuff that happened with both of the characters, and
Right.
the fact that there's like really out of the whole Starfleet of all the insane how many planets, all the trillion of humans out there, this one specific person ends up in this era, like
On this specific
5 years before the events of Wrath of Khan, or however many years,
Right.
10 years, whatever, with these, like, it's just really, it's like, oh, there's another data out there, It's just one of those things. But anyway, I mean, I think we could easily talk about for 1 hour more about all the stuff, and we have done this before, and we will be doing this again. But yeah, let's just kind of wrap it up for now.
Yeah.
Just like a general impression of first 3 episodes so far, like a solid start, more than solid, less than solid to season 4,
Solid.
and yeah, just any thoughts on maybe what to expect by the end of the season? Not that there's much to
solid
go
start.
on.
Yeah, solid start. I think I was not the biggest fan of last season of Strange New Worlds, and I don't know if that's the. I was talking to somebody yesterday. Is it the product of the writing strike, and coming off of that with the previous seasons, or what? But I just compared the zombie episode of last season to episode 2 of this season, and the writing and directing is just so much better in the episode this season than last.
Yeah,
And
I think I see what you mean,
I'm it's encouraging that they're I don't know what, but it seems like they're on the right track for a really great season 4.5. So yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to Thursdays.
Yeah, 100%. I'm looking forward to this as well. I just love Star Trek. It's one of those things that just gives a bit of light, a bit of hope, a bit of faith in humanity as a whole.
Yeah.
And it's just good stuff. And it's honestly it's just also very it's sci-fi, and it's optimistic, and it's pretty, and I'm happy with that. Star Trek,
Yep.
I guess we had this whole discussion at the start of the episode about the looks of Star Trek. That one more or less, but still, I'm very happy to have the Star Trek that it always was in my head,
Right.
And it's just like you look at this photo, and it's like, yes, I can actually see this in an episode. Like I just want my Enterprise to look the best it possibly can on a screen as it's flying through pretty clouds. That's all I want, and I get this on Thursdays, and I'm happy with that. It's just good stuff. All right. I guess we can probably wrap it up here. Thank you, Mark, for joining. I had a lot of fun. We'll see.
However
many people will join for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope you had a great time as well.
I did. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is. I mean, any opportunity to talk about Star Trek, count me in.
Yeah, you have my sword. Yeah, exactly. I mean, same. So I think we'll be not probably doing this weekly, but also we can just see. We can kind of play it by the ear, but we'll definitely do at least 1 or 2 more episodes by the end of the season, and probably do maybe a bit of a couple episodes put together and just kind of do it like this.
Great.
But let's see. I also would not mind. So let's see. Maybe we can kind of do it weekly or bi-weekly, depending on our schedules.
Sure.
One is in Europe, one is in US. It's not always easy to make things fit, but let's see.
Right.
But anyway, I think with this, thank you very much. And yeah, I guess I'll see you in a couple of weeks again. And to
Yeah.
everybody else listen to this, yeah, this was Fofcast. We'll be doing a lot of other nerdy stuff. There's the Lanterns show coming out uh, in like about 10 days from now. So it's after House of the Dragon. We have been doing House of the Dragon episodes, and the last episode, House of the Dragon, comes out this Sunday. So you'll be getting our discussion on it a day or two later, as usual. And yeah, there's a lot of cool little things going on. There's going to be, we'll talk about X-Men, the animated TV show, because it's awesome, and a lot of other things. There's plenty of cool things coming up. So yeah, thank you very much, and until we see you the next time. Bye bye.